Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for May 3rd, 2010. This is Patrick Ceresna. As always, we start off with the S&P 500 using that SPDR's exchange traded fund symbol SPY. European concerns in midweek brought in a very strong bout of selling that almost completely reversed itself by the end of Thursday. But then Friday came in with an aggressive amount of selling, bringing us right back down to what we now mark off as that 118 to 119 focal point. There was potential that this market could have actually broken higher and actually had follow through on the upside, but we now are definitely continuing to consolidate. Now the big question here is this going to be a sideways consolidation that then bullishly breaks out higher, or if we break below the 118 level, it may be the beginning of a bigger market consolidation that may fully retrace back down toward the 114 to 115 area on the downside. Right now, if you break it down to even an hourly chart or more, it's starting to look like a head and shoulder style topping formation on the upside. That's why that 118, 119 focal point will be critical early this week. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is a symbol JLO. We had an early bout of profit taking that came in on that Monday and Tuesday. Subsequently, after finding a good base right along that 26.5 to 27 focal point, reversed and it's working all the way back up to the previous highs. These regional banks more or less will be tied with the movement in the S&P. If we see the S&P really finish off a topping formation and break below that 118 level, subsequently that will probably pressure the regional banks to go through a profit-taking cycle as well, which if it reverses off this level here could very easily come all the way down to the 25 to 25.50 area on the downside. In the same regards, if that breakdown doesn't happen on the S&P, then regional banks can very easily work their way up right to the top end of the range, even as high as $29 or more this week. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Syndex, which is a symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies. And really, this entire index is being almost exclusively driven by very robust pushes up in casino stocks. We're seeing some really big pushes higher, but Friday came in with a kind of a dark cloud cover style reversal formation off that top side there. At this point, there is no indication that this has a reverse trend, but it is clear that as they break it higher, that the profit taking is coming in here. It'll be very interesting to see whether we start to see this chop a little bit more sideways early this week. If it does, if the whole market rolls, and we will probably see a profit taking cycle in this index as well. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is a symbol RUF. We had a robust rally up into the zone. We had this 12.5 area, give or take, as a target area on the upside. Now that we've seen two very distinct reversals come off of that zone, we're marking that off as a focal point around this 12.5 to 12.75 area. We had a second upside target that was as high as the 13.5 to 14 area. That could be an upside target so long as the whole market remains at least sideways bound, if not bullishly slanted. But if we have a broader market that does reverse, then it will probably be very difficult for the home builders to make it up that high. If the whole market does break, including the S&P below that 118 level on the spiders, then we're going to be potentially see a profit-taking cycle that could go down in that 11.5 area on the downside. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is a symbol FUM. Last week, we ended off with a breakout candle trying to make a legitimate push to new highs above this 113 to 115 area. By Tuesday, there was a full reversal of that with a bout of selling coming right back down below that zone. So it's clear that it was a false breakout attempt on the upside. It doesn't mean that this is going to turn bearish here just yet. We're going to be watching this retracement zone between the 106 to 110 2010 area. It's the natural retracing area for any pullback in the market. So long as the natural gas index finds some sort of support in these zones and rolls back up, it could make a legitimate push back up to that 120 to 123 area, which we've been targeting for several weeks. But in the same regards, if the selling comes in and is breaking through all these retracement zones, at that point we're going to go back to a very range-bound outlook for the natural gas index. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is symbol UKX. And when we're looking at the FTSE here, we're seeing far broader weakness and much stronger selling than we are seeing in other global markets, including the S&P 500, where we've now come down into this 550 to 555 focal point that we've been talking about for several weeks. At this juncture, this is just the initial target zone, but selling could very easily go as low as the 535 zone on the downside. Subsequently, we're looking to see whether or not this retracement zone can contain all selling attempts, because if again the selling is all contained within this area, and subsequently the whole market, including the global market, start to roll back up, then we could see at least a short-term swing bottom come in here with all the markets rolling up. But in the same regards, if we were to see a breakdown in the broader markets, then the FTSE selling could become much more intense on the downside. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.